The Town of Hinton organizational meeting for October 28th to order. The first business is the adoption of the agenda. Administration, anything to add?
No additions.
Council? Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
I'd like to move that council adopts the agenda as presented.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to adopt the agenda. Council, any comments? Seeing none? Let's vote. And that's passed unanimously. First decision, very successful. And the next one's actually a nice item. Councillor Chambers wasn't here for our swearing in on Thursday, so I guess my very first official duty is to swear her in. Do you swear or do you affirm? All right, swear.
I'll swear.
All right. Read this, please.
I, Kristen Chambers, having been elected to office of the councillor for the town of Hinton, do solemnly affirm that I will faithfully fulfill my duties as councillor for the town of Hinton, uphold the laws of Alberta and the bylaws of the municipality, act in the best interests of the community with integrity and accountability.
Now, sign. Welcome. And with that, we'll move into the business of the afternoon. So we're into section 4, and they've put this in order of importance for sure, because the first item is seating in council chambers. And in the procedural bylaw, that's to be done by random vote. And so what we've decided to do is chairs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to draw a name. So the first name that I draw is going to sit in that chair and so on. So why don't we just get everybody to sort of stand up and step back from the chair? You can grab your papers after the fact. So seat number 1 is Councillor Dunn. Seat number 2, Councillor McLean. Seat number 3 to my right is Councillor Charlton. Seat number 4 to my left, Councillor Chambers. Seat number 5, Councillor McDonald. And last but certainly not least, seat 6 is Councillor Nelson. And that will be your assigned seating for meetings from here on in. I already made a mistake, I think. We were supposed to have a motion that council would approve seating in council chambers as per random ballot.
Uh, through the mayor to council. So we don't actually need a motion on this one. We did have it in there. But because it's already included in our procedural bylaw, I think we're okay to continue as we are.
Thank you. I don't want to mess up first thing I did, so. So the next order of business, 4.2, is the deputy mayor roster. And so that has been presented. Council? Councilor McLean.
Motion to accept the deputy mayor roster as presented.
All right, we have a motion on the floor. Any comments, council? Seeing none, let's vote. And that's passed unanimously. Thank you, council. Next order of business is the 2025-26 council meeting schedule. And so we've been presented with a couple of options. So council, I leave it in your hands.
That's correct.
Move that we accept the council schedule for the 2025-26 schedule as presented.
And through the mayor, just for clarification, and that is for option one, correct? The recommended action?
Yeah.
Council? Councilor Nelson?
Yeah, I'll be speaking against this. Typically the reduced meetings in the summer, which I believe is option 2, in my experience tends to work okay. It seems like business slows down a little bit over the summer. Lots of admin are on holidays, and also gives council an opportunity to plan their holidays so they're not missing as many meetings. So thank you.
I think that's you. There you go.
Thank you through the chair to the rest of council. I'll actually be speaking in opposition of this motion as well. I find that a vast majority of councils are taking a bit of a lighter schedule for the summer, and with the options to have special meetings as required. If the workload dictates that, I would be more in preference of option 2. I think it does work a little bit better for planning, and I agree that the meetings are generally been a bit lighter through the summer months. So I'd be speaking against option 1.
Councilor Dunn? No, I'll turn it on.
I would be speaking for option 2 as well.
Is it not? There we go.
Yeah.
Councilor
Okay.
McLean?
Yeah, no, I think I want some clarification first, and please bear with me if I don't follow the proper procedure or whatever. But when I was reviewing this, reviewing the bylaw 2003, the procedure bylaw, and the regular council meeting 6.3.2, it says that we can change that by notice of motion or by motion, right? And we would have to give a notice of motion to change our schedule if we adopt this schedule.
Through the mayor to members of council, no, because this is the item of business that you are discussing. So if you would like to go with option 2 and you make a motion to go with option 2, then we've satisfied everything we need to through a procedural bylaw to provide a motion to alter from the schedule.
Okay, just for, I guess I didn't for clarification for myself to you, CAO Panasic. If down the road, January, February, whatever, we decided we wanted a different, we would just have to do a notice of motion under that provision in the bylaw.
Through the mayor to the rest of council. So yes, we could provide a notice of motion and then we could alter the schedule if that's what council wants to do. But also what we can do is we can call special meetings. So if there is items of business throughout the summer or really any time that we do need to attend to, really there's a process in our procedural bylaw, really only takes about 24 hours notice with advertisement to the community, and we can have a meeting outside of the schedule that we've set.
Okay, so I guess a little clarification for the rest of the council here. What I was thinking of is we don't need two meetings a month, right? We don't need two committee of the whole meetings. We don't need two regular council meetings because some of them only last 40 minutes or 35 minutes or 30 or 57 minutes. So I was just wondering what the procedure would be down the road if we decided that we weren't in need of having two regular council meetings. This further to that, at the committee of the whole 6.4.2, it doesn't have that same wording, right? For the committee of the whole meeting and changing, does that we need a motion to change the regular council meeting. So, but there's no wording to that in the bylaw.
Through the mayor to members of council. So the committee of the whole meetings would be the same. That council gets to decide on what that schedule is. So we can either do that, you know, if we find that every second meeting is a little bit lighter, we could always make a motion to amend the actual schedule itself. But typically what happens is through the agenda prep committee, which is the mayor, the deputy mayor, and myself. If we don't have enough to really justify a meeting, we'll simply just cancel it and provide notice of that. And then we can add all those items that might be on that agenda to the next one. So, you know, there's usually a little bit of give and take throughout the year and depending on how heavy the meeting schedules are.
You're good, Counselor McLean? All right, any other comments? Seeing none. Jen, can we get the motion put up? Okay, so we're voting on the motion that council approve option one for the 2025-2026 council meeting schedule. Council, please vote.
I went trigger happy. Okay, how do I talk?
All right, so that was defeated. So council, the floor is wide open. Councillor Chambers.
I'd like to make a motion that council approve option two for the 2025-2026 council meeting schedule.
Council, we have a motion on the floor. Any additional comments? Seeing none. Jen, can we get, we're voting on the motion that council approve option two for the 25-26 council meeting schedule. Please vote. And that, oh, we're missing one. Oh, no, there we go. So that is carried 6-1. Voting against is Councillor McLean. Next order of business is the potential dissolution of the CAO Oversight Committee. Could you please introduce CAO Panasic?
Sure, through the mayor I can, but I believe is Nikia Hope online? If not, we do have a backup plan of Ms. Garrow.
Through to council. So we the CAO Oversight Committee to potentially be to have the option of number one, to assign the responsibilities of the CAO recruitment and performance evaluation to council instead, and to dissolve the committee. We also have option two, for just having the responsibility onto the recruitment only, and keeping the oversight committee. Option three as maintaining the committee, and then option four as bringing it forward to the next CAO meeting.
All right.
Thank you. Through the mayor, if I could just add one thing. What we're asking for today is just to rescind the bylaw. If that enables the committee, if council decides to do that, then we wouldn't be appointing members to the CAO committee CAO Performance Review Committee later on in the meeting. But that would also mean that there is a little bit of cleanup that would have to happen in the policies that we have passed in relation to the CAO performance process. So there's a little bit of cleanup. We would have to remove reference, but that would come at a later date to council.
And I guess I'll just make a comment. The reason this is in front of us now is because a lot of the assessment of the CAO has fallen to council, all of council. So we don't need that oversight committee if council is performing that function. The MGA requires that we do the reviews with the CAO and that we manage that relationship. But really the intention of this now, I think, is to have all of council do that. Councillor Chambers.
Through the chair to administration, just a little bit of clarity from how the process was last year or this year, I guess, going forward. So then is the intent that we would have administration trigger the process for all of us as council if we needed to make if we were going to use a consultant like we have done, or, a group again, is that all then initiated through administration to the mayor, who then brings it to committee meetings? Is that kind of the process? It would just be all of us at the table instead of the 2 or 3 members of the committee as previously set out. Is that the case?
The council. Yes, so we do have really good procedures in place, and we would still follow those same procedures exactly as what you said. And it would just be all of council instead of, that's correct, those few members. And since council is involved in a lot of the processes, it was just another meeting that they were having.
If I may follow up.
Sure.
So through the chair to administration, then I think that if the intent was, I think, to get our process previously was not very well organized. So I think now that we've got that organized, and as long as that's being triggered at the appropriate time through administration to council, I think that makes sense. Is there anything else that we need to change, though, procedurally or in policy? Well, I think there is some things you said we'd have to update, but I guess that would just be my only question, is would this be coming back then at a future meeting with those changes after if that's the wish of council to rescind this committee?
Through to council. So one other thing on the procedures that we'd be looking to align is the council meeting dates with the due dates for the CEO recruitment or performance review policy. My mistake.
Okay, thanks.
And through the mayor, if I could just add, but there is the policies that regulate this process. So those do need to come back to council. There is some things that reference to this committee that would have to be removed. There is reference to the code of conduct bylaw, which is no longer in place. And there's I think a little bit more housekeeping that would also need to be done.
So then for clarity, those things will come back at some future point.
That's correct.
Thank you. Anyone else? Councillor Chambers.
I'd like to make the motion that council dissolve the CAO Oversight Committee, rescind bylaw number 1147, and assign all responsibilities for CAO recruitment and performance evaluation to council, with corresponding amendments made to policy number CL 1111 and policy number 1109 to reflect council as the governing body.
Council, we have a motion on the floor. Comments, discussion points? Seeing none, we will be voting on the motion that council dissolve the CAO Oversight Committee and rescind bylaw number 1147 and assign all responsibilities for CAO recruitment and performance evaluation to council, with corresponding amendments made to policy number CL 1111 and policy number 1109 to reflect council as the governing body. And Councillor McLean is voting for, so that, oh, he's in. Cool. So that's passed unanimously. Thank you, council. The next item is the council board and committees appointment. And there was a little bit of an error on the original document that went out to the public. So if on the West Yellowhead Regional Waste Management Committee, that the two councillors are Bill McDonald and Kristen Chambers, with the alternate being Don McLean. And with that clarity, council? Oops. I got my numbers. Councillor Dunn.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to make a motion that council approve the 2025, 2026 councillor boards and committee appointments.
Council, we have a motion on the floor. Any comments? Oops. I gotta get my numbers straight. Councillor Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On the copy that's attached for Civic Web and the one that was emailed to me, there's nobody listed for Beaver Boardwalk, so I'm not sure. I just want to make sure that it's clear who we're voting on with the Beaver Boardwalk Oversight Committee.
Okay, well, that is Councillor Natalie Charlton. You've never been Charlton to me. Councillor Charlton, and the alternate is Councillor Nelson.
Through the chair, I'm just questioning if we need to approve that as amended, since the one that was in the package, just a friendly amendment, that we're approving it as amended with the changes to the landfill and the Beaver Boardwalk then.
The mayor, yes, I would agree to pass it as amended. Yeah, all of our apologies.
Do you want to do that?
If Councillor Dunn is okay with a friendly amendment to just put as amended at the end of your motion, is that acceptable?
Yeah, as long as there's no opposition from council, that's okay.
Good. Good?
Mhm.
Okay. All right, any other comments? Seeing none, let's call it to vote that that council approves the 2025, 2026 councillor boards and committee appointments as amended. Correct. It's not coming up. I'm voting in favor. All right, and that's proved unanimously. Thank you. And the next one, I would like a motion to go into closed session. Counselor Charlton, I won't forget your name again.
I move that we move into closed session.
Council? The vote is up. Thank you. That's passed unanimously. Will be just a couple of minutes. It gives us the opportunity to go back and review the various names that have been submitted for these committees. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. the camera will come. Welcome, everybody. We'll now wrap up the public member boards and committee appointments. We've had the opportunity to have those discussions. It's done by special ballot. And after that's done, it'll be collected and tabulated. So council, please vote.
Through the mayor to the rest of council. The first one is relatively easy, so we will recommend that council appoint, and I will apologize in advance. Anya Riddison Vigela to the Hinton Municipal Library Board for a 3-year term.
Council recommendation's been made. So do we need a motion then to put that forward?
That's correct.
Who wants to take a shot at that name? Councillor Chambers.
I would make that motion if someone could put it on the screen because I don't have the name in front of me. I can get it though. I'd like to make the motion that council appoint, oh wow,
Ms. Vigala.
Anirudisa Vagela to the Hinton Municipal Library Board for a 3-year term.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to appoint Ms. Vigala to the Hint Municipal Library Board for a 3-year term. Any comments? Seeing none, please vote. Oh, there we go. And that was approved unanimously. Welcome, Ms. Vigala.
Through the mayor, if I could, I believe we'll have to do the Beaver Boardwalk oversight. We are looking for a total of 4, and there are quite a few that have checked all 5. So we would ask that council possibly revote and maybe just put a distinguishing mark next to their name in the margin with just up to 4 total. Uh, through the merit, so my mistake, I think we're okay. It's up to 4 on the one category and not the other, so my mistake. Through the mayor, we are recommending that council appoint Ben Williamson, Beth McCallum, Rick Jarus, Sterling Moselle, and Kelly Armstrong to the Beaver Boardwalk Community Oversight Committee for a 2-year term.
Council, we have a recommendation. Councilor Nelson.
I'd like to make the motion that council appoint Ben Williamson, Beth McCallum, Rick Jarus, Kelly Armstrong, and Sterling Moselle to the Beaver Boardwalk Community Oversight Committee for a 2-year term. Thank you. Thanks for everybody stepping up to join these committees as well.
Okay, council, we have a motion on the floor. Any comments? Seeing a none, we are voting to approve Ben Williamson, Beth McCallum, Rick Jarus, Kelly Armstrong, Sterling Moselle to the Beaver Boardwalk Community Oversight Committee for a term of 2 years. Please vote. And Bill McDonald's by hand, that's passed unanimously. There we come. The third and final, CAO
Not quite ready yet. If you give us a few more seconds, we'll have
Okay.
those all counted. Council, we're recommending that council appoint Addison Fragameni, Harold Tangri, Crystal Darlow, Max Testo, Nathan Oli, Ruby Botillier, Sabrina Crescipe, and Sterling Moselle to the Hinton Youth Advisory Council for a one-year term.
Council, we have a recommendation. I just like to make a comment before this of all of these that we looked at was certainly the most difficult for mine. These, all these young people put together a really, strong bid to be part of this and it's a difficult decision. So thanks to all of them for putting their names in and thanks for everybody for participating in these committees. This is Hinton gets to be a better place when we get passionate people doing things they're passionate about. So thanks for putting your name in. And council, we have a recommendation. Councillor Dunn.
I'd like to move that council appoint Addison Fragamani, Hero Tangri, Crystal Darlow, Max Testo, Nathan Olia, Ruby Boutlier, Sabrina Crespen, and Sterling Moselle to the Hinton Youth Advisory Council for a one-year term.
Any comments? All right, we have a motion on the floor. Council, let's move to approve Addison Fragmani, Hirai, Tangri, Crystal Darlow, Max Testo, Nathan Ole, Ruby Boutile, and Sabrina to the Youth Advisory Committee for a one-year term. And with counselors, there we go, unanimously passed. Thank you very much. And with that, can I have a motion to adjourn our organizational meeting? Councillor Charlton.
I'll move that we adjourn the organizational meeting.
Council, all in favor? And council, you're going to, on your voting, now you need to go into the regular meeting. We're going to go into the regular meeting, so you need to reopen your approved agenda and move to the regular meeting. So yeah, go into there. So straightforward. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, this is what we want. So like this, right there. Or it's right there, publish agendas. Actually, regular meeting. 2025. There you go. Is everybody showing up there? Secretary Davy Campbell? town of Hinton respectfully acknowledges that it's located on the First Peoples traditional lands. We recognize this territory to show respect and understanding to those who walked this time since time immemorial. Today, we uphold our ongoing responsibilities to work together in the spirit of the intent of the treaties with all First Peoples and nations that call this place home. The town expresses gratitude for the opportunity to build a better community on those sacred lands for generations to come. And with that, I will call the meeting to order. First order of business is the adoption of the agenda. Administration, any additions?
No changes from administration.
Council, any additions? With that, I open it up. Councillor McLean.
I move that we adopt the agenda of the regular council meeting October 28th, 2025.
Council, we have a motion on the floor to adopt the agenda as presented. Any comments? Seeing none, let's vote. And that's adopted unanimously. Thank you. Next order of business is council minutes for adoption. Council? Councillor Chambers.
I'd like to make the motion that we adopt the minutes from the regular council meeting of October 7th, 2025, the committee of the whole meeting minutes of October 14th, 2025, and the inaugural meeting and swearing in ceremony minutes of October 23rd, 2025 as presented.
Council, we have a motion on the floor. Any comments? Seeing none, we will vote on the motion that a council adopt the meeting minutes from the regular council meeting of October 7th, 2025, committee of the whole meeting minutes of October 14th, and the inaugural meeting and swearing in ceremony minutes of October 23rd, 2025. Please vote. And those minutes are adopted. Thank you very much. The next point of business is community announcements. Do we have any, CAO Panasic?
We do not.
We do not. Well, then it's on to my very first public hearing. The following public hearing is held pursuant to Section 692 of the Municipal Governance Act, being Charter M-26 RSA 2000 and amendments thereto. The following rules of conduct will be followed during this public hearing. Presentation should be brief and to the point. The order of presentation shall be entry of written submission, those supporting the bylaw, those opposing the bylaw, and then other persons deemed to have been affected by the bylaw. Council may ask questions of the speakers after each presentation for clarification purposes. There will be no debating the bylaw, however. Questions to the councillors or other parties will be accepted through the chair. I hereby declare the public hearing relating to bylaw 1088-26 now open.
The purpose of the proposed bylaw number 1088-26 is to amend land use bylaw to include updates, including regulations around non-principal short-term rentals, as shown in attachment 1. First reading was given to this bylaw number 1088-26 on September 16th, 2025. The public hearing for bylaw 1088-26 was posted on the Town of Hinton website September 25th and October 2nd, 2025, and the Town of Hinton Facebook page, and emailed to those who have signed up to be notified via Town's Civic Send system.
Are there any late written submissions relating to bylaw 1088-26?
No, there are none.
Do the councillors have any questions? Do the counselors require any further information? Seeing none, I will accept the motion to adjourn the public hearing 1088-26. Oh, no. I hereby, sorry, step back. I was on to page 2. I hereby declare that public hearing related to bylaw 1088-26 is closed and will accept the motion to adjourn. Councillor Nelson?
26.
Council, all in favor?
Uh, sorry, Mayor, through the rest of council. Have we asked if council or I believe it was just members of council if they had anything or if my apologies. I believe there was 3 sections included in there where it asked if there was anyone present that wished to speak either in favor or opposition. So prior to adjourning that, if we could just make sure that there's no one present that would like to speak on the bylaw.
And my apologies for anybody who's following through, first time through, we just need to shake the rust off. So that's what we're doing today. So thank you, CEO Panasic. I did miss, is there anyone present who wishes to speak in favor of bylaw 1088-26? Is there anyone present who wishes to speak in opposition to bylaw 1088-26? And is there anyone present who is deemed to be affected by law 1088-26 and wishes to speak? Seeing none, can we allow Councillor Nelson's motion to stand?
Yes, we can. Yep.
Thank you. All right, Council, any comments, thoughts? Seeing none, please vote. And that's approved unanimously. Thank you very much. And then on to our action items. The first one, 6.1, the land use bylaw amendment 1088-6 with suggested amendments. Administration?
Thank you, Mayor. I will turn that over to Ms. Walker.
Thank you, Mayor and members of council. So coming out of the recommendation from a consultant with regards to looking at the land use bylaw to implement some sort of recommendations around looking after short-term rentals. They're recommending that the amendment introduce definitions to expand on the short-term rental category to include both principal residents as well as non-principal residents. And it also describes the intent and difference in each use. And this just provides clarification and alignment with the short-term rentals bylaw. By adding this clarity around these definitions into the bylaw will permit council, should they choose to in the future, restrict short-term rentals into specific land use districts, whether they are permitted or discretionary. This evening, administration is recommending that bylaw 1088-26 receive second and third reading. Thank you. And I'm available for any questions you might have.
Some clarification. Did this get first reading?
Through the mayor to members of council, yes, it did, with the public hearing date for second and third to happen today.
Okay, thank you. Council, thoughts? Councillor Nelson.
I'd like to make a motion that council give land use bylaw 1088-26 second reading as presented. And if I can speak to it, it's been a lot of work to get to this point. I anticipate this council and hopefully with some other groups within the community doing some pretty meaningful work on housing. And I look forward to this potentially coming back in a year, again, with some changes that will better reflect what we're needing for the community. So this is a great start to bring that clarification to the community. Thank you.
All right, we have a motion on the floor. Any other comments? All right, seeing none, please vote. And that has been approved unanimously. Council? Councillor Chambers.
I'd like to make the motion that council give land use bylaw number 1088-26 third reading as presented.
Council, we have a motion on the floor. Any comments, questions? Seeing none, please vote. And that is passed unanimously. Thank you very much. The next order of business is the license bylaw amendment number. Oh no. Yeah. Business license bylaw amendment number 1126-4. Administration.
Thank you. This one will also go to Ms. Walker.
Yes, thank you. Just like the other report and the next to come, these recommendations are coming out of a report from our consultant with regards to updating these bylaws so that they're all in alignment. So this one before you tonight is the business license bylaw amendment. Again, what we're doing is we're just updating those definitions to better describe what short-term rental is between principal and a non-principal. Oh, no. Didn't realize my speaker wasn't on. And so this evening administration is recommending that bylaw 1126-4 receive both first, second, and third reading. Thank you.
Council? Councillor Chambers or Chambers?
I'd like to make a motion that council give business license bylaw number 1126-4 first reading.
Council, we have a motion on the floor. Any thoughts, comments? Councillor Nelson.
I was just curious in the suggested updates that bed and breakfasts were specified only in principle. Would there be a way for people to utilize online platforms and call them bed and breakfasts and then have them fall under principal rather than non-principal? Just seems odd that it's called out in one of them, but not clarified in the other. Apologies if I'm missing something on that one.
Yes, Mayor, through to members of council. Maybe where the description needs to be identified is that a bed and breakfast would require what we call a development permit as well as a business license, similar to a short-term rental principal where you live in the home. And that's where bed and breakfast is identified under residential for. Is that maybe what you're at?
No, if it's addressed elsewhere,
Okay.
that's perfect. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
I guess I have a question for clarification. In this bylaw, there's actually a definition for principal resident. They need to be there 240 days a year, and there's some criterion built around that. But in every other iteration of this law, they or in the bylaw, they talk about the operator being in a principal dwelling, non-capital, non-defined. So shouldn't that defined principal resident follow through into this bylaw then? where we're talking about principal residence being a defined term as opposed to a principal dwelling, which isn't.
Through the mayor, I can take that one, and Ms. Walker, if there's anything else to add, but that would be included in the business license bylaw because you can't really regulate that, I think, effectively through your land use bylaw, because that's more of legitimate planning considerations. And typically how long you live in your a residence wouldn't be something that you would include in a land use bylaw. So I think that I believe that that's just more appropriate in a business license where we have more autonomy to set regulations further to what you would have in your land use, because that would be specific to where these are located, other planning considerations that would be associated with it. But I'd look to Ms. Walker if there's anything else. Yep. So this would, just further clarification, this would be a business license regulation specifically, but it wouldn't be regulated through the land use.
Okay. All right, council, we do have a motion on the floor. Any other comments, questions, thoughts? Seeing none, we will vote the council give business license bylaw number 1126-4 first reading. Please vote. And that's passed unanimously. Thanks very much. Council. Councillor McLean.
Council give business license bylaw number 1126-4 second reading.
Council, we have a motion on the floor. Any thoughts, comments? Seeing none, please vote. And that's passed unanimously. Thanks very much. Council, there's still work to do. Councillor Chambers.
I'd like to make the motion that council seek unanimous consent to proceed with the third reading of business license bylaw number 1126-4.
Council, we have a motion on the floor. The council seek unanimous consent to proceed to third reading of the business license bylaw number 1126-4. Any thoughts, comments? If not, please vote. And that's unanimous. Thanks very much. One last step along the way, council. Councillor McLean.
That council give business license bylaw number 1126-4 third reading.
Council, we have a motion on the floor. Any thoughts, comments? All right, so we are voting that, can you move that off the, there we go. That council give business license bylaw number 1126-4 third reading. And that is passed unanimously. Thanks, council. And then action item 6.3, short-term rental bylaw amendment number 1162-2. Administration.
Over here. Yes, thank you, Mayor and members of council. Again, not to reiterate, however, this is looking for the same amendment to the short-term rentals bylaw by providing definitions to categorize both principal and non-principal residents, short-term rentals. And we're looking at receiving first, second, and third reading tonight on this bylaw 1162-2. Thank you.
Council? Council Charlton.
Make a motion that council give short-term rentals bylaw number 1162-2 first reading.
Council, we have a motion on the floor. Any thoughts, comments? Seeing none, please vote. Oh, sorry, Councillor
Changing.
Dunn.
I just have a question on the short-term rentals bylaw. With the cap of 130 units on non-principal residents, STRs, is that recent, a recent cap?
Through the mayor to members of council, I believe that we had completed that. I'm looking to Ms. Walker in 2024.
Correct.
Yep.
Yes, I have, that was 1162-1, which was our last amendment, and it was accepted November 5th, 2024.
Has there been any discussion after that about reducing that number?
Through the mayor to members of council. So after we had set, and you're referring specifically to the cap,
Yes.
we did come back to council to talk about this and further regulations specifically on the bylaw itself, and then what we wanted to do to regulate this from a planning perspective as well. So that planning perspective is really what you're dealing with today. But when it came to the cap and when it came to further bylaw amendments, I don't believe that we made any at that time.
You good? Any other thoughts, comments, questions? Seeing none, we are voting the council give short-term rental bylaw number 1162-2 first reading. Please vote. And that's passed unanimously. Council? Councillor Nelson. Hang on. There you go.
Just a process question. So now that we're at second reading, that's where councillors would propose amendments such as the cap if they wanted to see that change. Okay. Thank you.
CEO Panasic.
Thank you. Through the mayor, council can make amendments to the bylaw now. If council would like to look at this bylaw maybe a little bit deeper through a committee of the whole, we look at all the regulations, for example. If council's okay with the amendments that have been proposed here, we could always pass that. There can always be a secondary motion to bring the short-term rental bylaw back to a future committee of the whole. We can, maybe dissect the bylaw in a little bit more detail, talk about all of the different elements to it as well. So 2 options available.
Councillor Dunn.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to refer or make a motion to amend the bylaw to refer to community of the whole meeting. I don't know if that made sense or not.
Through the mayor, through the mayor to Councillor Dunn, my recommended wording would be that council refers the short-term rental bylaw to a future committee of the whole meeting. And I think that captures it, and we'll bring it forward in that way.
So I should do it again?
Through the mayor, if you could confirm that that wording is what you would like to accomplish, then I think that's.
Is that what you're after?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor. Councillor Nelson.
As it stands, I wouldn't speak in favor only because there's no date. And my concern with the cap is if all of a sudden there's an influx of short-term rentals and in 6 months we say, we're not comfortable with 130 and all of a sudden there's 120 out there. I would, if the cap is going to adjust, I would rather it happen sooner than later, even if that's tonight, and we can always see what the waiting list looks like and then increase it from there. It's the only part of this bylaw that I feel like could create a challenge in the future, and I would rather have less and approve more in the future than approve too many and then work that back. So I would look to administration on the timing of when this would come back to this room to make such decision. Thank you.
Councillor Chambers.
Through the mayor to administration, just for clarity, does this mean now that we cannot give second and third reading to this bylaw, that the conversation's over on this bylaw tonight and it will come back as a whole later, or are we able to still continue a second and third reading after this motion?
Through the mayor to members of council, no, we can still continue with the amendments as they're presented. If council's okay with those amendments,
That's a good thought.
I can always pass them. If we don't want to and we want to look at bringing this forward as a larger amendment later, we could also do that as well. And just to Councillor Nelson's point, this has been something that we've worked on for quite a while, so we would be probably prepared, whenever council would like to see it. Likely not at the next meeting, but I think anytime in November, December, I believe we would be prepared to bring this forward. So if we did want to add a date as a voted on or friendly amendment, we could always do that.
Councillor McDonald.
Okay, so that I understand, okay, we could put a temporary stop to the short-term rentals as of today till we come back to the committee of whole?
Administration.
Yeah, through the mayor to the rest of council. So if we've already provided first reading on this, if we would like to look at further amendments prior to passing these, we can always just leave it where it is at first reading. We could bring this forward to a committee of the whole and we could bring it forward with more amendments. Your other option is that you could pass the amendments as they stand today. With this motion, the bylaw is still going to come back to committee of the whole. So, I think it accomplishes either way if this motion is to pass.
Very good. And I guess I'll make comment on the motion on the floor is I agree with Councillor Nelson that we should build some time frame around this, but I really do want to move forward with this tonight because I think the principle of putting or the concept of putting principal and non-principal residents into the bylaw is important. Any thoughts on a date? Can you give us when we might see this at a committee of the whole meeting?
Through the mayor, we'd recommend November 25th. I believe that is the next committee of the whole meeting that's regularly scheduled.
You want to make that motion? Friendly amendment? Councillor Nelson.
I'm not going to make the friendly amendment because I guess I can make the friendly amendment to November 25th, but if that's made, I will actually vote against it because then we're sometime before it comes back to regular again. And if we're getting close to where strategic planning is, I would rather just change the cap here and then go through our strategic planning, see where we're going, and then adjust it after strategic planning when we have kind of a bigger picture conversation about housing than this one conversation. So I would make the friendly amendment to committee of the whole on November 25th. So if that's fine, thank you.
I guess Councillor Dunn would need to accept said friendly amendment and then everybody unanimously agrees. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Again?
Hmm?
I had your mic turned
Oh,
off.
I'll accept that amendment.
Council, we have a motion on the floor. Councillor McDonald.
Is there any way we can amend this so that we can put the cap at 60 till November 25th?
We need to finish working on
Oh.
this motion first. Any other comments? Seeing none, please vote. Mine popped up and then went away. I'm in favor. And that's passed 6-1, the dissenting vote from Councillor Nelson. Council. Councillor Chambers.
I'd like to make the motion that council give short-term rentals bylaw number 1162-2 second reading. And if I can just speak to it, I think, again, with the changes that are being presented tonight, I think it's important to clean up the clarity, the wording piece of it. I'm happy that it's coming back to a committee meeting, but I don't think it stops us from moving ahead with this work tonight, of which is more clerical in my mind and leaves us open for a bigger discussion down the road.
Any other comments, questions? Seeing none, let's vote. Mine's not coming up, Jen, and I'm in favor. And that's passed unanimously. Thank you. Council. Councillor Nelson.
Procedurally, we are still able to make amendments at this time, correct? After second reading, but before third reading?
Correct.
Through the mayor, if I could just have just a moment to clarify that piece through our procedural bylaw, and I'd just like to look into that. Thank you through the mayor to the rest of council. So third reading is to occur without amendment or debate. So the time for amendments is specific to second reading. First reading is without amendment or debate. So we could look at a separate amendment, go through the required readings on that, if that's the will of council.
Counselor Nelson.
Yeah, thanks for that clarification. As much as I would have been a lot more comfortable passing a reduction in the cap tonight, I just think it would de-risk the process a little bit and make sure that things weren't happening that we wouldn't be comfortable with in the future. But with that in mind, I think the changes to the bylaw are important, and looking at worst, this should come back on the 16th to regular council for future amendments to the bylaw. I would like to make the motion that council seek unanimous consent for third reading of the short-term rentals bylaw number 1162-2. Thank you.
Administration, did we vote on this, on the motion for the second reading?
Yes, we did.
Okay. All right, we have a motion on the floor. The council seek unanimous consent for the third reading of the short-term rentals bylaw number 1162-2. Council? Please vote. And that's passed unanimously. Council? Counselor Nelson.
I'd like to move that council give short-term rentals bylaw number 1162-2 third reading. Thank you.
Council, we have a motion on the floor. The council give short-term rental bylaw number 1162-2 third reading. Questions, thoughts, comments? Seeing none, please vote. So both Councillors McLean and Dunn have voted for. So that's passed unanimously. Thank you very much. And we get to do this once more, ladies and gentlemen. Action item 6.4, fees, rates, and charges, bylaw number 2001-5. Administration.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, through to members of council. Okay, so this amendment is for the fees, rates, and charges bylaw. And where you'll see what we're doing is under the planning and development business license fees, we're removing the digits from the main short-term rentals bylaw number 1162. We're removing that tack, that dash. And as well with the business license bylaw, we're removing that dash so that anytime we have a future amendment to either one of those documents, we don't have to bring back the fees, rates, and charges bylaw again. So that's the reason for this amendment. And we're recommending that this amendment receive first, second, and third reading as well this evening. Thank you.
Makes sense to me. Councillor Chambers.
I'd like to make the motion that council give the fees, rates, and charges bylaw number 2001-5 first reading.
Council, we have a motion on the floor. The council give fees, rates, and charges bylaw number 2001-5 first reading. Any questions, thoughts, Councillor Nelson?
It's been a few years, but typically, so this is coming to us out of its regular cycle because we've changed something else, correct? Like this council will have an opportunity to look at all of the fees, rates, and charges holistically, and approximately what time of year does that happen? Just so we don't go down the path of talking about rec center passes and all the other things that are on here.
Through the mayor, thank you to the rest of council. I'm just looking at a review schedule. But just for council's information that this bylaw is new. We never have had a master fees, rates, and charges bylaw. We had fees, rates, and charges built into a whole variety of different bylaws and some even policies. So this is now the master document. So I don't believe we've ever gotten close to any regular review of this because this is, council should expect that this is going to come quite often. Just because, as all of these different bylaws and policies change, anything that might be related to a fee or a charge is being removed from that bylaw. It's being incorporated into one master document, just for ease for the public and for administration. If you're referring specifically to recreation, I believe that that's a yearly process that we do. I don't have.
I
Looking to
think
see if rec staff is, but on a yearly basis, we do bring that forward. I believe it's prior to the end of the year to set the rates for the upcoming. So you will see that relatively soon, specific to recreation.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for that clarification with this being a new process. And I think probably the best practice then is to kind of stick to the changes that are tied to other things and try to not get into too many other things and do a separate motion if we wanted to bring something like that back.
Through the mayor, yeah, that would be my preference. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, council, we have a motion on the floor. Any other thoughts, comments? All right, let's vote. The council give fees, rates, and charges bylaw number 2001-5 first reading. Please vote. And that's passed unanimously. Council. Councillor Charlton. Oop, hang on.
Make the motion that council give fees, rates and charges bylaw number 2001-5 second reading.
Council, we have a motion on the floor. Councillor Dunn.
That's what I was going to say.
Oh, then never mind. All right, council, let's vote. The council gives fees, rates and charges bylaw number 2001-5 second reading. What are we missing? Gail, there we go. That's passed unanimously. Thanks very much. Council? Councillor Chambers.
I'd like to make a motion that council seeks unanimous consent to proceed to third reading of the fees, rates and charges bylaw number 2001-5.
Motion on the floor, council. Please vote that council, please cast your vote that council seeks unanimous consent to proceed to third reading of the fees, rates and changes bylaw number 2001-5. Thank you. That was passed unanimously. Council? Councillor Dunn.
I'd like to make a motion that council give fees, rates and charges bylaw number 2001-5 third reading.
Council, we have a motion on the floor. Any other thoughts, comments? Seeing none, please vote. And that's passed unanimously. Thanks very much. And that's it for action items tonight. Well, before we move on, Councillor Nelson, do you want to take the calling this forward? Any thoughts on bringing the fees schedule? Nope.
I'm comfortable with knowing that it's going to come back as needed, and then a specific cadence with those things that most impact individual citizens. Typically, those came back annually, and that was a good time to have those conversations with the community. So I'm comfortable with where it's at currently. So thank you.
All right. Okay, that's it now. Now that's it for our action items. And so we're going to move on to our information items. And the first one is the Recreation Center modernization vote and the results. Council may have heard about this through the election, but administration.
Thank you, Mayor. Just refer to Ms. Barbeau if there's anything that you would like to add on this.
Thank you, Council. The tabulated results of the plebiscite vote counts are just being brought forward to you at the earliest possible time. I know there's much future discussion that will result from this. So this evening, administration is just looking to accept this for information.
Councillor Chambers.
I'd like to make the motion that council accept the Recreation Center modernization vote results for information.
And I had my first public hearing, and I guess I get my first proclamation tonight. Oh, yes, we do. Please vote on the motion that council accept the Recreation Center modernization vote results for information. And that's passed unanimously. Councillor Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Do we have a scheduled agenda item to discuss the rec center? That the community is incredibly engaged over the last few months. It's been great to see. So I think it'd be great for the community to know kind of when their votes will be taken into consideration when we'll be talking about this next. Thank you.
Thank you through the mayor. So we do have, as a part of our orientation, we will be going on a rec center tour, and we will talk about this a little bit, just so council knows the next steps. But the next formalized steps is you'll see this in the form of an operational business case at the 2026 budget process. We'll also talk about whether there is some more time that council would like to speak to this outside of that process, just to start, to wrap their head around this decision, because it is a big one. But we'll make sure that there's lots of opportunity for council to talk about this as they need.
Good with that?
Just the timeline, just for the public on when those budget conversations are going to start.
Through to all of council, I believe the dates are the 19th and 20th, or 18th and 19th. It's the Tuesday, Wednesday of November.
Right. So with my exuberance, I can step back into it again. And so this is Family Violence Prevention Month. And November is designed by the provincial government as Family Violence Prevention Month. And the town of Hinton wishes to raise awareness that family violence is one of the most prevalent detriments to healthy family and community life today. Violence is as any action that causes destruction, pain, and suffering, which has no place in family or between intimate partners, and nevertheless occurs across cultural, socioeconomic, and other personal barriers. It includes both physical and emotional harm and threats. The town of Hinton wishes to actively promote respectful and healthy relationships in this community and discourage family violence. Family Violence Prevention Month also celebrates the action of individuals, families, schools, workplaces, and sports organizations to prevent abuse through education, awareness, and acts of healthy relationships and kindness. As action is a vital part of fostering a violent-free community, we light Hinton's public facilities purple in November and encourage everyone to wear all things purple on Friday, November 14th, as a symbol of peace, courage, survival, honor, and personal dedication to family violence awareness. For the month of November, the public are encouraged to wear purple ribbons. Everyone can be part of the solution to end family violence. Early intervention and education are key. Help us in raising awareness by participating in November monthly events to help make our province and community abuse-free in 2025 and onward. And with these statements, I, Brian LaBerge, Mayor of Hinton, of the town of Hinton, do hereby proclaim the month of November 2025 as Family Violence Prevention Month in Hinton. And those are our information items. Next on the agenda are notices of motion.
Through the mayor, we do have one notice of motion from Mayor Labarge that council direct administration to investigate options to diversify delivery of Hinton Listens public responses and bring a report to a future committee of the whole meeting.
That wasn't my motion.
Through the mayor, as I'm reading it, I agree with you.
It's sitting on my desk.
What was that?
It was regarding the minute with council. Well,
Oh,
I'll make it on the
That-
fly.
If I may, council, this one was due to be brought forward, but this had already been addressed with the previous council, so it should be on here. But that one was, I believe, asked and answered to at the time. And if you just give us a moment, we'll pull yours up.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's correct. Thank you to the mayor, to members of council. So the notice of motion by Councillor LaBerge was council direct administration to bring forward the procedural bylaw to the next committee of the whole meeting with recommendations to include minute with council.
Thank you. CEO Panasic. Councillor Nelson.
Thanks. I have a procedural question with notices of motion. Will it typically have who made that notice of motion? Just, for council to be able to reach out to that individual if we required more information. Like this is a pretty straightforward one, but some of the notices of motion could be pretty comprehensive.
Yes, to the mayor, to members of council. Yes, it typically does. This one had been removed probably because it was the previous council or it was just an administrative error, but typically we have who makes the motion. Sometimes it will not be written beforehand. Our procedure is so long as councilors provide me a notice of the motion before 4 o'clock on the day of a council meeting, then I'll read it into the minutes. But then we will reflect that with the name included of who put it forward in the minutes.
Thank you.
All right, on to reporting. Should be quick. Boards and committees, we haven't done a lot of work that way, but you want to share your thoughts? Anything to say? This is just a point in the meeting where everyone would kind of report back from, their experiences with boards and committees, things they've seen in the community, what's going on out there. It's your opportunity to have a say.
Okay, what I would like to say is I'm looking forward to being part of the committees that I've been appointed to.
Perfect. Succinct. Even more succinct.
I am also thrilled with the appointments that I've been given for committees and looking forward to the work.
Succinct? Cool.
Thank you. Nothing to report, but happy to be continuing on the boards that I was on previously. So they're stuck with me whether they like it or not, I guess.
I have nothing to report.
Counselor Nelson.
I have nothing to report, but I do have a follow-up question. When do we vote on that notice of motion?
Through the mayor to members of council. So this comes forward at the next regular meeting of council and for council to decide on.
Awesome. Thank you.
And if I could, I meant to do this earlier, but the way these meetings laid out, it would normally be regular meeting, committee of the whole. We're actually going to have 2 regular committee meetings in a row. So next Tuesday is actually a regular meeting of council again. So it's the way it laid out, the organizational meeting needing to happen today. It worked out that way. So the next Tuesday will be a regular meeting as well. All right. Chief Administrative Officer, you anything to add?
Thank you. Through the mayor, I don't have anything to add, but just so council's aware that monthly we provide a staff report on all the different departments, what's gone on in the last month. We also bring forward our council action pending list with some status updates. So just so you know that those will be on your agenda regularly. Other than that, I just want to say welcome to the new council. We'll have lots of time together over the next couple days and with orientation. So that'll be a big process, but just wanted to say welcome on behalf of administration.
Yeah, we're back at it bright and early tomorrow morning. And with that, the most important part of the meeting, Counselor Nelson,
I'll move that we adjourn.
all in favor? We got to figure out